Hello, Legion. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more of The Long Dark in our Survival School series. So I noticed something quite nice when I was sitting down to record this episode, which is that when you look back at the episode titles around this point in the original Survival School, there was an episode literally titled Skills and Workbenches. Hey, we're right on target. And also the next one was called Research and Inventory, apparently. I don't have them exactly in order, but I just wrote down what some of the titles were because they also covered some of the topics, and I didn't want to miss anything that was touched on in the original series. Hopefully that makes sense. But so we're going to kind of definitely do skills and workbenches and maybe even a little bit of research with this episode. Spend a little bit more time indoors. We talked about cabin fever. You guys gave me some good insight into the cabin fever mechanics, some reminders because I don't play on Voyager a lot. Cabin fever is a thing, but not for several days. And you can look up in the custom settings of the game how long it takes for cabin fever to set in, I think. Or maybe, actually, that may not be in the custom settings. That might just be something you look up on the wiki, but it's definitely in the comments on the previous episode and might be in the comments for this one as well. So cabin fever is a thing that maybe we'll talk about towards the end of the episode once I've spent some time indoors, but that is definitely a thing, especially on higher difficulties. It is a thing, and it's definitely a thing to be prepared for. Because when it happens, believe me, it will make you angry. Or at least it makes me angry. So let's go ahead and take a look at our inventory situation because we are a little bit encumbered and I want to remember why. That's right, I picked up these decent combat boots out in the wild. Let's drop these and go ahead and put them up. Mark, I am literally working on it right now. If you would just listen to me, everything would be just clear and understood between us. But no, you never do. Neither does Jennifer. What is it with you two? All right, so there's some moose meat gone, and that clears some of our encumbrance as well. But we're going to keep going through our inventory for a second before I do anything else, because this is just a good thing to do routinely, even though we're doing a tutorial series. All right, these books we're going to be reading momentarily after I talk about skills. Let's go ahead and repair these really quickly. Or not. Hang on. We just lost our cloth, so I'm going to need more. But, there are no curtains in here. I would have to break down this table to get that cloth. I don't really want to either, because that's actually kind of a nice touch for the interior environment here, so I'm going to leave that alone. Well, we're going to have to find some cloth elsewhere before we can repair those socks. But some of you might be wondering, hey, Hadrian, why are you discarding those combat boots? Can we talk about maybe why you're wearing your new insulated boots instead of the combat boots? Sure, let's do that. Let me pick these back up for a second. Yeah, chill out, Mark. And we're going to take a look at the stats on these just side by side. First of all, these are 77% repaired, so the stats are about 3/4 of the way to full. So, in the case of the temperature bonus, right now we're sitting at 2.1, so that would be about another, the full bonus on these would be about 2.5, 2.6, maybe 2.7. I'm going to imagine 2.5 would be the full bonus for this one, and then for the wind chill bonus, just do some similar calculations, and you'll get an idea for how nice those are. But look at how nice these are compared to that. The combat boots are heavier. They're more restrictive on movement. They do provide me a little bit better protection because they're combat boots. So if I were to be wearing these and get attacked by a wolf or a bear, I wouldn't necessarily take as much damage, and I might stand a bit more of a chance in the fight with them. So I would be a tougher opponent. I'm not saying I would necessarily do more damage, but I would stand more of a chance at getting them off of me sooner. And then the protection against the elements is actually not that great either. So hopefully that's pretty clear just right away. The weight difference alone is a huge win, but then there are some stat wins as well from wearing the insulated boots. Now, remember, the insulated boots are still pretty restrictive on my movement. 12% restrictive on my movement. So, there's still some things I'm losing by wearing the insulated boots, but they're the nicest boots that I've found so far, so that's what I'm wearing. So let's talk about the skill system for a second. I guess what I can do, since it's midday and I don't hear any wind, I'll step outside. That way we can have a little bit of a change of scenery and not be indoors for the entire time. Oh, wasn't this lovely? But, scared all three of those deer off. Yeah, we can definitely have a lot of deerskin items ready to go within the next episode or two if I make a concerted effort here. This is going to be nice. So when you open up the journal by hitting J, and actually don't have my Xbox keys pulled up at the moment, so Somebody make a note in the comments of what the button is for the journal on the Xbox. I completely forgot to pull that up before I started recording. But anyway, when you pull up the journal, you can go to the Skills tab, and it'll show you not only what your current level is, but how far along you are, as you might expect, on all of your skills. Now, of course, as you've seen in the series so far, and as you've seen in your own playthrough of The Long Dark, every time you complete one of these actions, every time you cook, every time you start a fire, every time you fish, every time you shoot something and hit it, every time you do the same with a bow and arrow, and then, of course, every time you successfully repair something, your skill will go up. And then the bonuses you get for being at that skill level will be listed over here. Now, again, I don't want to spoil you for some of the really, really nice bonuses that you get once you get to level 3, level 4, and especially level 5. But I will go ahead and confirm for you that, and we will level up some of those skills right now because I've got some skill books that I need to read. So you're going to see some of the level 2 bonuses. But in general, what this means is that in most cases, especially kind of the harvesting and the cooking activities, the things that would take time, fire starting even as well. So these 3, this means that things generally happen faster. So you might cook something a little bit faster. Also, I think higher level cooking, well, I know for a fact, higher level cooking allows you to get more caloric value, there's that phrase again, out of everything that you cook in the game. So the higher your cooking skill, you actually get more calories. And there's more bonuses as well. Carcass harvesting, again, takes less time, the better you are at it. And then ice fishing, you just have a better chance at catching a fish. And I think even a lower chance at your line breaking, if I'm not mistaken. So it's kind of intuitive stuff like that. Rifle firearm skill, we might take a look at that in a moment because we're going to be reading a book, I think, that'll help us with that. Mending skill, same as these above. You have a better chance at succeeding, and then you also have less time taken up by each repair activity. And then again, I don't want to spoil you. I know I'm making it sound very simple right now, like, why are you even explaining this, dude? But believe me, there are some bonuses that you start to get at the higher levels that are really, really cool. So it makes it worth kind of going through and, sticking with the long haul and seeing what kind of benefits you can get from doing that in the late game. And just sticking with the long-term game of The Long Dark in general, which is the point in survival mode. Survive as long as you possibly can, right? So this deer hide is the farthest along. That's 44% cured. Let's go ahead. I guess furthest along would have been the better way to put that. As I've said before in other series, further is a definition of degree. Farther is in relation to distance. So when it comes to the deer hide being a certain proportion of its curedness, I need to say further. Anyway, anyone who's ever seen the movie Finding Forrester can especially appreciate why I'm particular about that distinction. So let's take a look at my skill books. They're in my tool category. And I have Stay on Target. Oh, actually, okay, I don't have a shooting book, do I? I've got the Survive the Outdoors book. And I've got the archery book. It's nice that I have the archery book because all of my other skills, as you saw there, are nice and leveled up. But archery, because I just found the bow and arrow, it still needs some love. So let's go ahead and do that research. It's going to take 5 hours. Whenever you do research, you need light, you need to be well fed, and you need to be well rested. You basically need all of your status indicators to be in good shape, because when you're researching, it actually drains you pretty quickly. I'm going to start with the archery book and get it over with, and you can see actually how far it's going to help my skill improve. Let's go for 5 hours. We're probably gonna not. Oh wait, we might. There we go. We got all 5. That was just enough time because look, the sun is about to go down. There's one little piece of the sun left. So we're finished with that book, and now that book is like any other book in the world, which means we can go ahead and just light it on fire and use that firelight to research this book, I guess. But we're not actually going to do that because I don't think we'd make it through the night. I'd rather read during the daytime rather than waste tinder. And use that book to light a fire that will actually help me with things like cooking all the meat I have outside. And that will bring our cooking skill up probably to level 2. I would not be surprised if we hit level 2 cooking all that meat. All right, so obviously archery, we're not, by the way, in case there's any question, we're not at level 2 yet, but we just got a lot closer. We're about 2/3 of the way now, a little bit over 2/3 of the way. And let's see, bed. I could go ahead and sleep now if I wanted to. I would not rest through the night though, that's the thing. Sleep as a resource, the system sometimes, part of me wants them to add more of a circadian rhythm style system where it's easier to sleep through the night when it's nighttime, because the brain actually secretes melatonin at, about 9:30, 10:30 every day, naturally. It makes it easy if we try to go to bed at that time. That's the natural cycle that we have when we're in normal equilibrium. And I don't know. I feel like it would be nice. Sorry, I'm getting on a soapbox here. I'm not really teaching, but it would be nice to have that in a future version of The Long Dark where you didn't have to worry about rest as a resource as much at night. You could sleep through the night more easily in situations like this. But thankfully, we are pretty close to the end of the night here. So actually, now that we have a hatchet, let me step outside. If it's good visibility, I think I'm just going to brave the weather. And we're going to harvest a little bit of... oh yeah, we're good. It's not even that cold. I'm going to step up here because there's a lot of... there's this thicket of trees usually yields sticks and branches and maybe even limbs. Again, every time there is any kind of storm, like the one we just had, blizzard, even just a windstorm, there's going to be fresh... Okay, the snare's still out. Nothing's been caught yet. There's going to be fresh wood on the ground, maybe even large limbs that haven't been broken up yet. Hey, bunny. You should hop in that snare, dude. It'll be totally awesome. Just a humble suggestion. You don't have to do it, but you might like it. Take it from me. You have no reason not to listen to me. I have no nefarious intentions. Okay, we haven't found any limbs. There's probably still some up on the... Oh, hello, fog. You came out of nowhere. By the way, I will probably circle back to this in one of the second 10 episodes, the 11 through 20 of this series. But there was a fantastic list left by one of our true community gems and stalwarts in the comment section on the weather episode. So for those of you who are interested in learning exactly what different types of weather are and how they transition, go to the comments on the weather episode because that's there. But it was such a good list that it inspired me to make sure that I include that content in the series. So I will probably circle back to that as more of a masterclass type topic as we get towards the end of the series. Let me know if you guys would enjoy that. Because it's something that I'm kind of intuitively familiar with, but the way he broke it down, it was like the details on... Here's a limb. Good. All right, this takes 45 minutes. I'm going to get tinder plug out of this, and a tinder plug, and 3 cedar firewood. Requires light. Oh, yeah, that's right. I need daylight. The sun is about to come up, but we're not quite going to be able to do it just yet. Totally forgot about that. You need light even to break down a limb. Which kind of annoys me, to tell you the truth. But yeah, the way it was broken down in the comments on that episode. I'm just waiting for the first crack of dawn here so that I can break this thing down. You don't have to wait for it to be fully daylight. All you need is for the sun to be just up enough to where it counts as day and the game will let you do it.
I'm gonna need to eat soon.
All right. Let's go inside. I'm looking for wood so that I can have a fire and cook this stuff. I mean, I guess I found plenty of sticks. That's enough to start. Anyway, yeah, as I've tried to say like 3 times now, it was a lot more detail than I typically give in survival school, but I think some of the latter episodes I'm going to devote to heavier topics. I want to have an episode kind of devoted to interloper mode, like what does it take to actually survive on the highest difficulty level in the game? How can you use custom mode to make it more difficult than interloper, maybe? We'll talk about all kinds of stuff like that. It'll be fun. Okay, I've just picked up some moose meat. Not a lot. Giving off quite a stink at the moment. Wood stove, here we go. Feeling my way around in the dark. I've got some birch bark that we picked up, which we can use for kindling. I think I would rather use the book that I finished reading, though. Oh wait, no, that's fuel. My bad. So yeah, let's go ahead and read let's burn the stay on target. And we use, I guess birch bark would be good. I can use any of these. I'll use one of my cattail heads. Start the fire. It probably won't be long before our fire starting skill levels up. I'd be really surprised if it took a particularly long time. So what I think I'm going to do, I'll show you guys a little bit of a trick here. We know that and it's not like a huge secret, but this is the way that you can use the game's timed activities to your advantage when you're waiting for certain things. Like right now, I'm waiting for dawn so that I can break down more wood to make this a more substantial fire and get more of my cooking done. So what I can do We've got a fire started. Let's go ahead and pile some sticks on here. I want to pile just enough. Let's see. We need 45 minutes. Let's go ahead and do an hour and 45 minutes. I'm going to cook one little thing of moose meat. And the reason I'm doing this really is just to pass time. So now we've got an hour and 22 minutes left on this fire. Let me go ahead and chow down on this so that I'm not about to starve. And I'm also, just very quickly, I'm not going to leave this indoors for long, but I am going to go ahead and leave this moose meat just sitting right here so that I don't give off a stink when I go outside. 1 hour and 19 minutes. It's still going to be, I don't know, I think, I'm fairly certain right now, this is not something I know precisely, but I'm fairly certain that in order to break those limbs down, I'm going to need the sun to be halfway up and the moon to be halfway down. So right now the moon is still winning a little bit, so to speak. It's still a little bit above the horizon. The sun is still a little bit below. I need it to be exactly even. So we'll see how this works. I'm pretty sure that's what the game counts as dawn. But we're almost there. So it might happen with enough time. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's not something that I've ever like strictly taught myself, but it's something I've just noticed over time, especially since they added the sundial as a system of tracking the daylight. It used to have, as you might remember from the original Survival School, those of you who found your way to the channel or just have watched those videos, it used to be that it would say the exact amount of hours left. Now it's a little bit less precise. The entire interface is a little bit less precise, excuse me. Some people love it, some people hate it. But the general idea was just to make it so that you couldn't read the game as precisely. You know, there's going to be an element of uncertainty when you're in this survival situation that this character is in right now. So, you know, it makes sense from that, you know, perspective. Let's go ahead and chat out on this too. It makes sense from that perspective that they would make the game's interface a little bit less precise. Okay, the sun is definitely coming up now, so I will be able to break that limb down. All right, we can see there's a little bit more daylight. So I might have to make a couple of trips here, but I have enough time on the fire. It's going to be close, though. Like, I'm going to have to move fast. I'm not even going to stop for more meat outside because I just want to make sure that I get in here before the last few minutes of this fire are up. Yeah, 13 minutes left. 1, 2, 3. Much better. Okay, so let's pick up the rest of this moose meat.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
You'll be okay, Mark. And let's do some cooking. Again, everything that we're doing right now is passing time, which is helping these hides that I've got on the floor cure. I mean, well, it's not speeding it up, it's speeding up the rate at which time is passing for us. Cooking skill every single time. All right, now notice that I'm back down to about an hour and 30 minutes now. So it would really benefit me, I think. Let me go ahead and drink some water. It would really benefit me to go ahead and go back out, find another limb. Weather's crappy too. Welcome to the long dark. Let's go ahead and drop this meat. Let's see if we can find anything to break down. There's some old man's beard, which I really should grab, but I'm focused on other things at the moment. If I were playing a solo playthrough, I would be grabbing that old man's beard right now. So just make a mental note. Old man's beard especially, I'm playing on a custom difficulty level right now, experimenting with some settings. Oh good, there's a limb right there. Experimenting with some settings where the harvestable goods are a little bit harder to come by. And I let myself not pick up some old man's beard early in the game, and let me tell you, did I regret it. Oh my god, it was... Hey, there's a bear. We could totally kill that bear. I'm kind of tempted. You want to kill a bear, guys? Let's kill a bear. We're going to kill a bear. I'm going to pretend I'm not too excited about this. All right, so we've only got 31 minutes left on this fire. Okay, Mr. Bear. Well, see, we're kind of tired, so getting a kill shot is going to be... it's going to be dicey. We're going to do it anyway. Let me make sure that I have... One thing I could do to improve my... Hang on, do I have any coffee? No, I don't have any coffee. If I had coffee, I could actually improve how rested I am. Therefore, slightly improve my chance at taking this bear down in one go. So I have full condition at the moment. If this bear gets me, I won't die. Not on this difficulty level. Bears on Interloper will pretty much kill you. That being said, I've been saying that since I started playing Interloper, and that's something that I read about in the forums. That's something that Raphael talked about when he announced the way Interloper difficulty worked. However, I've never actually been attacked by a bear in Interloper because I've done such a damn good job, if I do say so myself, of avoiding it. So I don't know for sure that a bear will kill you, but a wolf will damn near kill you in Interloper, so I can't imagine that a bear wouldn't. Like, if you get hit by a bear on the game's highest difficulty level, you're dead. By the way, some folks... Yeah. See what's happening right now? Some folks were asking in the comments, very good question, and I think we're getting a good demonstration right now. Do wolves ever attack other animals the way... Or do bears ever attack other animals the way that wolves do? And judging by the fact that that deer was just prancing around near that bear with virtually no impact on him... By the way, I bet I know where I could have gotten a hatchet much sooner. Right over there. We'll check later. Oh wait, I actually think I see it. Yeah. Yeah, I see it. I mean, it's just a couple pixels right now, but it's there. It's there. All right. So here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to get in front of him. Let me also make sure there's not a wolf nearby. I'm going to get in front of him so I can get a nice straight shot at his face. Also going to get low so he can't see me. And then if he charges, we're just going to have to shoot again and hope that the second shot is on target. All right. Gotcha. And that's pretty much what you have to do if you want to take down a bear. If you're a good shot, if you're very well practiced with the rifle, you can, you know, slap a bear across the nostrils with a bullet and drop him in one hit. I mean, I've seen it done. You can hit it from the side, you can hit it from the front, but in general, you need to have enough distance between you and the bear to where you are confident, just like you saw me do just now, to where you're confident that if you miss, or, I mean, if your first shot hits the bear, because you don't want to miss with your first shot. You definitely don't want to do that. But if your first shot doesn't take the bear down, you need to have enough time to reload and fire again before that bear gets to you. And you need to make sure you hit him in the face, because if you don't, he's going to get you. So let's see. More guts, maybe? I mean, we've got enough guts thanks to the moose. How am I doing on... Yeah, this is going to take some time. It's also 63.2 pounds more meat. So I've pretty much got enough to survive the rest of this series just from the moose and the bear kill alone. But let's, tell you what, let's do... See, I've got the hatchet, which is different. The hatchet would be useful if the carcass was frozen, but it's not. So I'm just going to do half of the guts for now. And it looks like I might actually be able to do the other half safely. Yeah, let's go ahead and do the other half. There's that. And how encumbered am I? Okay, there's carcass harvesting level 2. We'll take a look at that in a second. It's one of the reasons I wanted to kill that bear, so I can get that skill increase. Just looking around for possibility of wolves. Okay, notice that the carrion crows have started a circle, so we can pick up these feathers. That happened while we were standing here. Oh, there's 4. Usually there's just 3. But in this case, there are 4. Nice. Wait, how encumbered am I? That's what I was going to check. Oh, wow. Holy crap. Well, I'm going to take about half of this meat. Or maybe... Yeah, let's say that much. We'll come back for more later. I could have also quartered the carcass. See, this is the bear's cave right here. So you can see he was trying to come back home and we rudely interrupted him. Also, I'm going to have to keep my head on a swivel because we're close to the cabin, but not that close. Let's grab this stone. We're far enough away to where if a wolf that happens to be walking through the area decided that he wanted to go after that smell, he would. And yes, they will go after the smell of bear meat. For those of you curious about that, absolutely. To them, it's raw meat. They smell it, they want it. All right, now the only downside, I believe, is that our fire is probably now out. I actually forgot about that. I meant to try and manage that while I was dealing with the carcass. But chances are the fire's out. Do I still have that wood on me? I can't remember if I put the... Yeah, I did. I did put it on the fire. So maybe it's still going. If we're lucky, it's still going, and I might be able to keep it going. If so, that's what I'll do. I have to cut this episode in a second, but we're going to keep that fire going so that we can continue to cook. And it'll actually be a great spot to get our cooking skill up all the way. If you want to see, by the way, what carcass harvesting, oh yeah, cooking skill is going to be up to level 2 very soon. 10% reduction in meat harvesting times. So I'm now faster across the board at harvesting meat. Not hides, not guts, meat. And you guys can let me know in the comments. We can talk about it if it says meat reduction or in meat harvesting times, but it actually does apply to hides and guts. I think it's separate, which is why the language specifies meat harvesting. But sometimes games are that way. We all know that. This is one of the best tracks in the game, by the way. And I hate to interrupt it by going inside, but we got things to do. All right, we've dropped the bear meat. Now, is the fire still going? No, of course not. All right. Well. All right, so we have no fire. I will go ahead and stop this episode here. In the next one, we are going to probably go back and get that additional meat from the bear so that we can cook all of this. And then next episode, we're going to have a cooking extravaganza. But at the same time, we've been passing some time, while all this has been going on. So the fresh rabbit pelt is 46% cured. Some of these guts are over halfway cured. So by the end of the next episode, maybe the beginning of the one after that, we'll be able to talk about the workbench. So we didn't actually get to the workbench this episode. I was kind of silly to think that we might even come close. I have talked to you about what, the basics of crafting these items are, but there's one element that we haven't gone over yet, and I will start touching on that as soon as we, can actually do this stuff. Oh, wow. Moosehide cloak only requires 1 moosehide. Moosehide satchel only requires 1 moosehide. I didn't know that. I thought it would take multiple. That's awesome. That's going to be an interesting choice. Do we go with the moosehide satchel and permanently increase our weight capacity? Or do we get a moosehide cloak? Not quite as good as the bearskin cloak, but very, very good protection against the elements and also good protection otherwise. And it's also less restrictive than the wolfskin cloak while being heavier. The bearskin coat, oh, I want to kill another bear so I can wear that. Look at that. That's almost as good as the moosehide cloak, but there's some trade-offs. There's definitely some trade-offs. Yeah, for sure. Cool. So yeah, we'll talk more about harvesting that stuff or crafting that stuff in a future episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. New episodes are coming out every day at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.